we need to move to our next guest. So our next guest should be a familiar one to us on Foley Family Radio, and he's joining us on video. So those of you who are streaming live and watching, you should be able to listen and watch him as we talk today with Dr. John Wood of Extraordinary Mission. Welcome, Dr. John.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
How you guys doing?
We're doing well today. Just introduced you, and some of you, since we usually have a lot of new listeners, probably don't know very much about you. So let's do an introduction for you.
All right. Well, yeah, my name's John Wood. My wife Kristen and I are parishioners at All Saints in New Riegel, and I have several books out. The one people might be most familiar with is Ordinary Lives, Extraordinary Mission through Dynamic Catholics book program. Gotten opportunities to travel all over the country, share my Catholic faith. I'm also an eye doctor. That's actually what I do for a living, do eye exams in nursing homes. We have 5 kids, ranging in ages from 17 to 2. And in the last couple of years here, we started doing lots of sacramental retreats for second grade, mostly, also confirmation, but we love making holy families, so it fits really well with this radio station. Our goal is to inspire young parents to build holy families. So a little bit about me there.
Well, that certainly is a worthy endeavor, that's for sure, and it fits in with our name. So that's a kind of a new feature that you've kind of added over the last couple of years, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of a product of really searching for my target audience. Because of Matthew Kelly and my link there, and the book having almost 250,000 copies floating around the country, it gave me opportunities to do conferences and parish missions. But my frustration was always that the younger parents don't usually go to those events open to the public. So my wife Kristen teaches second grade sacramental prep, and I realized that's a golden opportunity. Even disengaged parents still bring their kids in for First Communion, and it's an opportunity we've really been able to take great advantage of the last couple of years by doing a second grade sacramental retreat to give us access to the moms and dads and the kids, and then follow up with them. So it's been a great blessing for me. I feel like I've been searching for a long time, and this really gives me access to that audience.
And it also is an opportunity for you to do something with your family.
Yeah, that's the other huge blessing. Was it was pretty challenging traveling all over the country away from my wife and kids all the time, and this gives me an opportunity to do ministry with them. And so pretty much every weekend of the school year, we are this weekend is our last of 25 sacramental retreats we've done this year. So pretty much every weekend we're together as a family. We're doing it together. I think that's a great witness in and of itself. People see the whole family there. Our whole family is involved in the retreat. It helps my kids be part of ministry, see ministry, and really fall in love with doing it. So it's just, that's been one of the greatest blessings, is doing it together as a family instead of being away from my family.
Right. Excuse me. So yeah, you were recently at St. Peter and Paul there at Ottawa, which is my home parish, and I thought that was like you said, it was a great opportunity to engage not only the children but the parents, because they were required to come. Yeah,
and that's kind of the thing, in sacramental prep, that's part of it. The parents have to be there. We survey all of them. We want their feedback. We want to know where they're at in their journey. And I probably got more testimonials from Ottawa than anywhere else. That was honestly one of the funnest retreats we've done, because so many parishes came together. I think there was 7 different parishes represented at that retreat.
Okay.
And it really makes the church feel alive. But to get the feedback from the parents, the most common thing we hear in the testimonials is that I didn't want to come to this. I wasn't looking forward to this, but man, I'm glad I did. Or wow, that really opened my eyes. Or this really inspired me. So when we just wait for the parents to come, they're so busy, they're so distracted, they have a million things to do. And if they're not interested or they're not engaged, they're not going to be looking for places to go grow in their faith. So this is a golden opportunity, because they kind of have to be there. It's a challenge to speak to an audience that doesn't really want to be there. But it's very uplifting to hear their feedback when in the surveys they tell us where they're at, or they don't go to Mass at all, or they haven't been to the sacrament of confession in years. but then when they leave, they say, I want to come back. I want to be more involved. This really opened my eyes. And a lot of times that's all they need is just someone to encourage them, challenge them, uplift them, help them realize the power and potential they have as parents, and really help them understand that Catholicism can make them better at everything in life. And it's really a profound gift we've been given that we need to share with our kids. And so it's been a great blessing to get that opportunity to open their eyes a bit.
Yes. One of the things that I've kind of been asking and want to kind of have as a general theme throughout this is the impact of the culture on the family, upon marriage and children, through our education system and even through our media. Is some of what you do is a bit of an antidote to that, but what is it? What are some of the major concerns you have, and what are some of the things that parents can do to help combat this overwhelming force of the culture?
Well, I give these parents at this retreat, we do a live Dragon Slayer presentation. It's really fun for the kids and the parents together. And then that's a kind of an icebreaker. And I get an entire hour. The next hour is just me, an opportunity to inspire the parents. And I give them a lot of statistics. I just kind of hope to open their eyes, the reality that, 70, 80% of our kids admit they're addicted to their phones, that, pornography is a multi-billion-dollar business, that, drug use has, heroin use has, increased 10 times in the last decade. I mean, a large percentage, 10% of our population is addicted to drugs. I just want to give them the reality as a doctor, as these are science, this is statistics, to help them realize just how dangerous the culture can be, and also help them realize that a lot of those people maybe are addicted to certain things, or they're in these statistics because they're grasping for something. And we know, and you and I know, they're really looking for God. We have a God-sized hole in our heart. Our hearts are restless until they rest in God, as St. Augustine said. But when we don't teach our kids that, when we don't put God first and help them realize that internal thirst is heaven, they start grasping for their happiness in the pleasures of the world, in the relationship they're in, or all the things the world has to offer, the honor, the pleasure, the power, the fame, whatever it is that they think is going to make them happy. Those kids are going to go grasp for that. And so I tell them, to do nothing is to lose. The first sin of Adam is not what he did, it's what he didn't do. He stood there like a coward and did nothing while the enemy deceived his bride. And I want them to realize, if you don't do anything, you lose, especially the dads. We really want to get them involved and realize, you're supposed to guard, you're supposed to protect, you're supposed to pass on the truth, or the culture will most certainly give them a lie. So it's a little bit of a sense of urgency to hopefully wake them up a little bit, to see the reality around them. And I think they understand when they hear it. They're like, yeah, that's true. I mean, I can see it all around me. But then also empower them to realize the most powerful religious curriculum you can give to a child is the way their mom and dad live their life. And regardless what the culture says, the mom and dad has the biggest and hopefully the best influence on the life of the child. And if you engage that child, you live that domestic church, and eating together and playing games together and talking as a family and discovering the faith together, you have more power than any of their friends, any of the culture, any of the media, to help them realize they've got to get in the game because they're the most powerful people in the world. Hopefully that inspires them, that they realize they can do it. So, yeah.
That's well said. It's a message I think so many families and men especially need to hear. We tend to be, I'll speak for myself, I tend to be quite passive. I'll let what I think is okay pass for okay. I try to emulate as best I can for my children, but I could always do more. I could always have a stronger example. But it can be so overwhelming sometimes because we cannot police. Let's take for example, streaming media. We're streaming right now on this live video. This is good content, right? But there's so much that is now not so good. Used to be the distraction used to be sit in front of the television, and I could trust that. But now it's here's an iPad, here's a mobile device. Just go ahead and occupy yourself. That's no longer good enough, is it?
Yeah, and I mean, that's again, part of the message to the dads when I show them the stats, like, this is your realm to guard and protect. Like, what are your kids watching? What are they listening to? What's in their, what's on their headphones? That's your business. That, in fact, you have to guard and protect. And then helping them understand the goal and the mission is to become saints. And when we know the goal, we can make better choices. Our kids can make better choices. We can prepare them for battle, in a sense, knowing there are lies out there. But if they know the truth, that they were made for heaven, when they have to make a decision about what to watch on TV or what to listen to, and I tell them, put the mission everywhere. So on our computers, you see the words "become a saint," and we, our kids, every parent makes those decisions themselves, but our kids aren't on the media. They don't have cell phones. They don't, and what do I listen to? Am I hiding what I watch so they don't see me? Or when they see me, am I only looking and listening to music that uplifts the soul? Am I only watching things? If they caught me in secret, what would I be watching? I'm like, I want to practice what I preach, the authenticity. Kids can spot a fake, so we can't just tell them, we got to show them. But we also need to help them, develop the ability to make good choices. And so sometimes that means taking some things away and until they're ready. But more than anything, it's putting that mission everywhere. So when they make a decision, they ask themselves, is what I'm about to watch going to help me become a saint? Because at least then they know the goal and the mission. And if not, at the very best, they know it's wasting their time. So that's the mentality I want to get into the home, into the family, so that we can teach our kids to make good decisions. Because like you said, the media is everywhere. We can't keep them away from it forever, but we can prepare them to make good choices.
Right. Absolutely. Hey, we're talking to Dr. John Wood here on the Spring Spirit Drive here in 2022 on Holy Family Radio. Need the phone to ring to bring in your donation. Your best gift here to help support us, to keep us going and growing, is 888-287-0655. That's 888-287-0655. You can also go to our website, holyfamilyradio.fm. That's holyfamilyradio.fm. You can also go to our mobile app on your mobile device. Have mobile apps for Android and Apple devices. There's a little button at the very bottom on the home screen. The little heart says donate, and it'll take you right to the same page. It would take you on our website as well. So you can make donations that way as to 888-287-0655. Dr. John, you've talked about these retreats. You're also an author. How many books have you written, and are you in development of any more, or is this retreat thing kind of your game now?
I've written 3 books, Ordinary Lives, Extraordinary Mission, The Light Entrusted to You, which is kind of based on the baptismal vows, and then a book called Where There's a Will, There's a Way, I give to every confirmation student. That one's a true story in my own life related around sports, and it's a really easy story to read for families to read together. Every chapter is kind of an analogy of sports and faith, and I think that people can get a lot out of those. But I'd like to write. I've been ruminating a few books for a long time, but my life has not allowed me to get them completed. But during the pandemic, I actually started writing a novel because I was kind of out of work for quite a while. Nursing homes were shut down, and there weren't too many live events going on. So I started writing this novel. My kids absolutely loved it. I'd write a chapter, read it every night, and then the world opened back up, and I got stuck in the middle. So my kids are kind of mad at me. So I really need to finish that. J.R. Tolkien is one of our favorite authors. He's a great evangelist because stories, really impact people. And so I'd like to get into that realm of storytelling a little bit. But I'm also working on a nonfiction book called Foresight, playing on the eye doctor puns quite a bit, but really answering life's 4 most important questions. Who are we? Why are we here? Where are we going? And how do we get there? That's one of the talks I do for parents. No matter what their belief is or their opinions are, we all answer those 4 questions by the way we live our life. So I think I want to bring those questions to the surface so people can start thinking about them more clearly and living life intentionally about why they do what they do. And so hopefully I can complete those books in the coming years here. So
yep, we all have the ideas of doing great things, and and have lots of great ideas. And the tragedy is that we never seem to have enough time to make those happen, right?
Yes. Yeah. Somebody once told me that, I think it's probably Matthew Kelly, that you'll never find time. You can find a $5 bill or the sock behind the dryer, or even find a beautiful woman to agree to be your wife, but you're not going to find time. You actually have to make time. And so I gotta really practice what I preach there and make some time to write. So.
Yep, indeed. I need to make some time to do some local programming and do lots of other things to be able to utilize this medium of Catholic radio. And so, I mean, one of the things that we're doing is we're doing this live stream now. We're trying to delve into the realm of video and expanding our reach to a greater number of people in a medium that they don't necessarily expect to find us. And so, how has Catholic radio been instrumental in terms of your faith life or the work that you do?
Extremely instrumental. I mean, I used to, the way I give talks a lot of times, not a lot of my stuff is original. I share information that I hear. Father Ricardo was a huge teacher for me. The whole book, The Light Entrusted to You, I would probably credit a majority of that book to just every morning on my drive to work. Christ is the Answer was on the radio, and he's kind of teaching me every day. And we take that wisdom we learn from other people that we hear through Catholic radio. It's just so powerful. And when we just talked about media and what are we listening to, what are we watching? If Catholic radio is always on our, if we turn the radio on and it's Catholic radio in the car, I mean, that's a classroom. How much evangelization you can give your kids just by driving places every day. If it's playing in your home, we love what we know. And when our kids know and love Catholic radio and they hear the wisdom of the church through the airwaves and the media that we watch and we listen to, that's how you build disciples. That's how you build holy families. It's little by little. And I tell them, I can't inspire I can't inspire teenagers by doing an hour talk or whatever. That's why I require the parents to be there, because the parents are the ones turning on the radio. The parents are the ones talking to them every day. And Catholic radio is a free teacher in your home that you can turn on any day to help you, talk about the faith with your children. So it's so important. So I really challenge people, what a blessing we have in Ohio, Northwest Ohio, to have Catholic radio. So please donate. I mean, you are evangelizing. You are saving souls. You're building holy families by just making a little donation to Catholic radio. And what it did for me, the ripple effect, when Father Ricardo teaches me and then I teach other people and then they go and teach somebody else, that's the power you have by just supporting your local Catholic radio station. It's really awesome.
Well, thank you for that testimonial. It is one of those things that I hear every once in a while. You talked about, where it's on in the car, it's the classroom. Love that idea. I love that idea. I'm going to use that throughout this 3 days here, and to talk about that a little bit, because it really is. It's engaging, and it's a in a sense a passive way of learning, because what comes in through the ears passes through the brain, and some of it sticks, and you never know what difference that makes in somebody's life. So. 888-287-0655. It's 888-287-0655. So, Dr. Wood, is there anything else that you'd like to share with us? We're in the Easter season, in the middle of the octave of Easter. What kind of message or inspiration would you like to impart with us today before we let you go?
It's just a beautiful time to remember the beauty of our Catholic faith. One of the things we did for Lent was we gave up electric lights. This is the second year we've done it as a family, and to enter the darkness and to face it every night really makes Easter so profound for us. When we go to the Easter Vigil and the darkness is pierced by the light of Christ, and we can celebrate that Christ our light is risen with the sun rising. Just remember the powerful story that we are part of, and share that with the whole world. And again, you get to do that with your Catholic radio station. You get to share the hope of heaven. You get to share the light of Christ. we're excited to do these retreats, and I encourage every parish in Putnam County. We have 2 of them in Putnam County next year, and including, we also have one in Findlay. We have enough venues next year to reach every parish in the Diocese of Toledo. So that's our goal. We are going to invite every single parish. If you have not yet signed up for a Dragon Slayers 2nd grade sacramental retreat, please let me know. We'll be contacting you, but let us know. We have a venue for you, especially there in Putnam County where the faith is flourishing so much. 2 great venues. So happy Easter, everybody, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to promote Catholic radio. It's a great blessing for us.
Well, thank you, Dr. Wood. It's great to have you a part of this spirit drive this year. It's been encouraging to kind of watch you over the years as a friend of the station, and to kind of see how things have grown and kind of expanded, and including your family throughout this whole thing coming out of a pandemic and all that. It's really quite inspiring, and wish you the best of luck in the future.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you once again for joining us, Dr. Wood. Gonna